Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. God is loot, loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, God is loot.
Oh my god, idiot. Fuck! I surrendered by idiots.
Hey kid, sorry about that.
I'm pretty sure this is where we introduce ourselves. So hello, 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 and welcome to LOOT.BET Season 9. We've got a hell of a game ahead, in which ENDPOINT are going to be taking on ANONYMO. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath of a match, and honestly, this could go either way. It's a series that really is dependent on the veto, and ENDPOINT, having recently lost Flames, have really lost a fair bulk of their firepower. It's going to be interesting to see who's able to come out on top in this affair. Of course, I'm Mikasa Chroma 3, I'm joined by the wonderful M&J. It's going to be an interesting one, to say the least.
It absolutely will. Yeah, you've touched on a really, really important point there. I think that every day of the week we would be leaning towards ENDPOINT in a matchup like this. But the fact that ENDPOINT have lost Flames recently, there's been a lot of question marks. They've had some recent matches that have been rather disappointing with their results. Obviously, losing to Young Ninjas the other day. Obviously, we saw their loss in the Premiership, 16-2 to CeX. That's never a match that they should be losing, certainly not in that kind of fashion. Thomas is a very talented player. Thomas is a player that's played with this roster a lot as well. So it's not like he's a big sore thumb that sticks out or anything like that. But yeah, you're right. He doesn't bring that kind of flair, that firepower that Flames delivered. And I think that's why they ended up sort of making some changes and getting Flames in the first place. So I'm not sure if Thomas is going to be the permanent fifth here for ENDPOINT, whether this is just a temporary thing. I'm not sure why that is going off. But yeah, whether that's just going to be a temporary thing and until they find someone else. But we'll have to wait and see sort of how their performances are with or without him. And if it goes well, if Thomas is a good addition and they maybe just have good results over the next couple of weeks, then maybe we see them kind of stick it out with him. But if things aren't going too well, especially with kind of what's on the line for them being in Pro League and things like that, it might be time to sort of try and get someone else in, another young talent that can deliver the sort of firepower that Flames would. As we take a look at this veto, Kremer, it seems like we've got a rather interesting one. But with both of these two teams having such strong map pools and playing 6 of the 7 maps, there's no doubt about the fact that we're going to be on 3 maps that both teams are super comfortable with.
Here's the thing as well, because it's a zero veto, which every team's comfortable on, I can't help but think this actually favours ANONYMO a little bit, simply because ENDPOINT are without their main firepower. Don't get me wrong, Thomas, great player, but Flames have left some fairly big boots to fill, and I don't know if Thomas is going to be able to do so, having only joined the team, was it a week and a half ago? So the reality is, this is still a tough old spot for ENDPOINT to be in, and the issue is, with such a kind of evenly spaced veto, I suspect this will go to a potential third map here, and the issue is on that third map, ANONYMO, that is the kind of only map in this veto in which they are substantially better than ENDPOINT.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to that third map, then I do actually favor ANONYMO that little bit. I was kind of feeling 2-0 ENDPOINT, I'll be honest.
Really?
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. I mean, the thing is as I mentioned before, Thomas has played with this roster for a long time, especially the core of it. So a lot of the time you'll see a roster change, and when it's a fresh roster change, it will be a little bit disjointed. You'll see some problems, some kind of teething issues that you have to iron out over the course of the first sort of month of a new player joining. But I think with Thomas, I don't think that issue is going to be a problem. I don't think it's going to be any problem at all. There's certainly not going to be any communication issues.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, when it comes down to the setups and things like that, Thomas has been their stand-in, whether it be for Flames since he left or actually any other player that's kind of dropped out ever since Thomas left his position at Envious. He's been like the solid staple stand-in here for ENDPOINT. So I think he's got enough matches under his belt with them over the past 4 or 5 months to be kind of familiar with how they play and their setups on certain maps and things like that. So I don't think he'll be too much of a problem there. What I completely forgot about, and what we were quite taken back by yesterday, is the fact that here in LOOT.BET, we knife for sides on every map.
We do. That's a
I
weird
find that
thing,
so
isn't it?
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, here we get the knife round strategy. The bait set up for Robin. I love this. I love it. I love we've got round win percentages on. I assume this is knife round stats, right? That makes me very happy,
Presumably.
Josh. That makes
Oh,
me
yeah.
very happy. And
Oh,
Robin's
no,
been
that's
spotted.
checked.
It doesn't work. It's just been deleted. Well, Endpoint, there you go. They threw the gamble. It did not work out. Anonymous will get the knife round, and well, I think for Endpoint, going to be absolutely crushed by that. At least, yeah, probably end up on the T side. So it's not the end of the world, but let us know in the chat who you guys think is going to win. It's awesome because UCC they're a bit lax on what we can't say. So I'm always interested to see who you guys are most likely bet on. I don't know why I should be awake at this ungodly hour in the morning, but yeah, always interested to know, and it's nice to see who the fan favourites are, to say the least. However, to get things underway, moving into Snipe round, it's going to be Endpoint with a dual barrette drop onto Key. Oh, sorry, Anonymous with the dual barrette drop onto Key. He's going to have that armor to support it. Over towards Endpoint, we see a bit more of a util-oriented buy, so let's see who's able to come out on top.
That is something that makes me quite excited. Dropping Julies onto an armored player. He's a tank right now. He's a cowboy tank, and he's going to be bombing up towards... I'm actually not sure where he's gone, but I'll have to wait and see what these Julies get doing. Is he over towards B?
Yeah,
Alrighty.
he's towards that close wall on B. However, for the time being, I'm going to see who's able to come out on top with this initial duel. Innocent able to shut down Mighty Max, provides that opening for Anonymous. As Snacks tries to aggress towards top mid, spots out Thomas. It's very messy as Thomas punishes him. However, with Mighty Max falling, that's half the utility Endpoint wielded, just taken out of orientation. We've now only got a single smoke and 2 flashes over in the hands of Surreal to help out. And, well, as that's deployed instantly, Thomas swinging wide, shut down by Key. The dual barrettes, they work perfectly for one. Tag down crucial, but can't finish the job. As we're going to see a flash straight through that smoke. A few shots ring out either way. No kill to be provided. And for Endpoint now, crucial falls in the smoke, and that is exactly what Endpoint were hoping to avoid. Into a 2-on-2. So we're going to see a instant boost up. And, well, Surreal expecting it. It's going to allow Robin to shut down the first, Surreal onto the second, and for Endpoint, a first round for themselves. I know you said 2-0, Josh. Do you expect them to be one-sided games, or do you think we're going to be in for a 2-0 series that takes the length of a three-match series?
Oh, there's no way they're going to be one-sided games. I think that we do go the distance. Neither one of these teams are significantly better than the other. So yeah, I do think we go the distance in these games, but I do still think it will be a 2-0. As we've seen that pistol round play out, sometimes we see those betting odds change like a hell of a lot. I don't know whether they're odds based on what people have actually been betting on, and we've just got like some fickle betters, or whether they are odds based on the statistics and the actual chance of either team winning the maps. We do see them change quite a lot, though, and we've gone into that pistol round. We see them quite heavily favouring Endpoint here. Of course, on their map pick here on Inferno, there's no major surprise, but it is interesting to see it that one-sided, given the fact that Anonymous do have a really good track record here on Inferno too.
You're absolutely right. A few shots ring out either way, though. Thomas able to get that initial kill, and as the deal kind of falls to the ground over towards this B site, it's once again a opening for Endpoint to try and capitalise off, and they push forward. It's going to be a few shots that ring out either way, and, well, as Mighty Max shuts down... Do we say it? Maino? Is that how we say it? Minio? Oh,
I've always
Minio.
called him Minio, but...
Minio, Linio? I know that we've got some people in the chat who know how to speak Polish, so please let us know. Here's the thing as well. We need to have... Actually, I've already made it, but we need to find a way to constantly update kind of how to pronounce names. Because it occurred to me as we were making it, like, we know the names we can't say, which is great, but we don't actually know how to say them. So having a sheet on how to say names made by the people who don't know how to say the names is, well, it just doesn't really work, does it, Josh?
No, it's not really helpful, because the ones that we've written on it are just ones that we already know, so, yeah.
So we don't know how to say a name, so we don't, we don't see it. So, yeah, that was a bit of a blunder on my behalf, but...
I think what's interesting about, and it's something that we touch upon all the time, to be honest, but what's interesting about this matchup in particular is both of these two sides, I feel, when it comes to them as a roster and when it comes to the players individually, they're not miles apart. I think that these two teams are fairly close when it comes to their caliber. However, when you compare it to the caliber of teams that they've been playing against, it's miles apart because Endpoint have been playing in Pro League, because Endpoint have been playing in Blast and things like that. The opponents vary so much. And when you look at Anonymo and you look at their track record here on Inferno, okay, they've got a decent win rate, but it's all against tier 2, tier 3 teams. Vizsla, 100 ping gods, Trident, Young Ninjas, Sangle, Saw, teams like that. When you look at who Endpoint have been playing against, there's G2, Evil Geniuses, Big, Australis, Liquid, Fnatic, Sprout, VP, Havu. There's some really strong sides that Endpoint have been able to beat here on Inferno. And I think that means so much, even if their win rates are similar. For Endpoint to be able to take down tier 1 Titans on this map, it makes all the difference. And now as we see them just about to put themselves 3-0 up, I really do favour them. I'm starting to favour them more and more here as we see Inferno kind of take shape. We'll have to wait and see how the buy round goes. Anonymo, they haven't really had an opportunity to show us any real teeth just yet out of lack of opportunity to pull out those rifles. But so far, I'm quite impressed with what we've seen from Endpoint.
Well, I'll tell you what I have. My worry from Endpoint was whether or not Thomas was able to really convert, or whether or not he was able to give the firepower that Flames was initially able to do so. He has been able to. He's been getting kills. Granted, it's only been 2-3 rounds, but the reality is, if he can get that confidence now, he can look to kind of, like, chain it together a little bit. So I'm actually feeling a bit more Endpoint favoured now. Whether or not I see them taking this in 2-0 fashion, I'm still on the fence about. I want to see this buy round before I commit to it. But of course, we've got bonus codes. Bonus code being Loot. I'm not sure if you guys saw that advert before we started. But it's one of the better adverts we have, isn't it, Josh? I'm very happy with that one.
It is. It's like my favorite advert across all the tournaments now.
Yes.
I am young. I don't want to die. Code is loot. Code is loot, folks. Don't forget it. We might get kidnapped, put in a boot.
by some bad, broken English speaking Russian dudes. I feel bad for the intern. The intern is definitely the guy in the boot there. They kind of just picked him up once. First day of the office, you need to get in the boot.
Or they've cheaped out on actors.
Or they've cheaped out on actors. I feel like they wouldn't have even paid for actors.
Yeah, there's no way that guy's an actor.
At the office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few days ring out towards long. Bit of damage done to Thomas early on. Oh, Innocent's able to shut down Mighty Max as well. The initial damage done to Thomas makes it really uncomfortable for Endpoint here. Innocent, hugging towards the other side of that smoke, is going to look to try and take the duel with the initial members, hugging the smoke in the form of Thomas. Low HP means he is going to have to play for timing, which is able to come out on top. By some miracle, he isn't killed by Minio there, who's able to ring out a few nades just to try and force him away. But Endpoint, they will never say they're welcome. They bomb it back down towards B. The only man they're going to have to duel this, I think, Key or K? God, Polish names are so hard, man. Goes to try and shut down K as they move forward. They'll bring out a few shots here or there. Shuts down Thomas. There's the opening. 2-man advantage with Minio there to assist. I think this should be a quick little shutdown onto Endpoint, providing Anonymous with their first round, unless something goes horrifically wrong. And with K looking to really hold this, the likelihood is Endpoint actually have a chance here. That bomb goes down uncontested. We've got players on the close angles towards both Coffins and CT. And with Robin finding his second kill of the round, suddenly this is looking scary. Kyler ready for the aggression towards Banana. Shuts down Surreal. All on Robin. 1 versus 2. Jumps up on the Coffins. Gets ready to play for the timing. And Kyler shuts him down. That was pretty close, but Anonymo, they're able to come out on top. They make a lot of damage in the process, though, as they hit their first round. And they take it, or they put themselves on the board as Endpoint move 3-1.
That was a really great off angle from Kyler, knowing that Endpoint were going to aggress, were going to try and take that banana control. A very close engagement there at the start there between Thomas and his opponent towards long. A lot of damage dealt either way. I said about we'll have to wait and see how this buy round goes. And, well, it was very messy at the start for Endpoint, but they recovered it nicely.
Moving forward, Endpoint, again, able to reinvest, no worries whatsoever. The bomb plants assisted that massively as well, to the extent where they're probably going to be able to buy next round as well. Last mid keeps Snacks at bay. For most of Endpoint, It's just a matter of going for fast control towards A. We see Robin dive it straight into Apps. The molly on short means that control should be relatively easy for him. And for Anonymo, again, just being relatively passive. Fanned out round the back line. It's over towards Moto, Archway, Balcony. They don't really want to take an engagement towards mid. That's kind of reflected here as Endpoint. They've got the Apps control completely uncontested. Once again, waiting for some aggression, and it's just a probing game on either side. Anonymo with banana control allow K to push his way forward and just tuck into that corner. But for the most part, Endpoint, just all quiet on the western front. This would be eastern front, actually.
Well, I like that aggressive banana control from Anonymo, but as that deep smoke fades, they know that they have to fall away from it. They can't stick around. Innocent, the only player remaining with the smoke, and he's on the wrong side of the map. So he goes for that aggressive fight, and he actually wins it. Man advantage now for Anonymo, and with 40 seconds on this clock, Endpoint really do need to get a wiggle on, because they still need to group back together, decide what site they want to hit onto, and use what utility they have left to go for an execution. With that bomb being left towards Banana and Presence coming in on that A side of things, I think that's going to be their final destination. This is smart. Anonymo have got 3 players stacked up on B, and this is Endpoint's best chance of winning the round if they can take out these 2 members.
So you're right, Kyler, ready to just sit down towards pit. He's going to be expecting this push as the molly goes down towards balcony. This forces Endpoint into a really tough spot. Now 10 seconds left, they got to go for this execution, and soon here come those smokes, so they've just run out of time. Anonymo, they've run down the clock. Perfect round by them, and Endpoint, they just back away and save. Only taking a single casualty in the form of Thomas. He is going to have to go down to what I assume would be a Galil dropped by Mighty Max and or Crucial. But for Anonymo, that was a great round, but that was really actually Endpoint who failed there.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I assume they actually just weren't watching the clock, and they maybe got timed out by that. I don't know. Either way, it's a mistake. There's no way in a scenario like that you commit yourself to a save there. I think they just took too long. And then when it came down to actually pushing out, they said, oh, do you know what? We actually haven't got time for this. It seems a little bit sloppy. Not the sort of thing you want to see in your early stages of your T side, but it does mean that they have weapons going into this next. Maybe it just polarizes this economy a tad, but with Thomas fully forcing and everybody with no money from last round anyway, it doesn't make all too much difference. Nice opening headshot from Mighty Max, though. This time, hopefully they're a little bit quicker to the punch. Hopefully they don't get timed out by this clock, because that's always something that's really difficult. Okay, he's going to fall right back.
We say it as K. Yeah, so,
Okay.
Warcrime82, really nice guy in the chat, with an amazing name. As, it's K. He's cleared it up for us. Thank you very much, man. For Anonymo. Equalizer there. They are able to put it down into 4-on-4. Endpoint, that won't deter them though. They go for this hit towards B. Able to shut down K early on. Means Minio, the last man and only man to try and defend this site. Yeah, the posters towards Coffers. Goes through a bit of an early peek. Can't quite spot them out though. And as they are ready to swing on him in unison, he's good for one. Crucial to trade. Innocent through the smoke. Unable to do further damage. Leaving them a man down. And then after plat position for Anonymo. A save definitely isn't out of the question here. Innocent will be swinging straight into an AWP. Kyler, he'll have to swing straight into a crossfire. The reality is this is a really uncomfortable position, and as Innocent just tries to push forward, Crucial misses a shot. Uncharacteristic to say the least, but as the nade finishes the job, there's definitely a kind of air of reality, but Thomas just playing the header game, playing the time game. Kylie good for one. Thomas, he's also shut down, and I think that might be enough time there.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Big retake there from Anonymo. They'll be able to make it 3-3. And it all comes down to that utility that Anonymo have right there. If they don't have that util, there's surely no way they get this done. But the initial flash accompanies the first peak. It allows the damage to come through onto New Box that probably wouldn't have otherwise happened. And then that nade finishes him off. That's the catalyst to get that one going. Now round number 7, Endpoint, they go for another force buy off of the back of getting that plant down in the last round and it coming close, but it's nothing like what they had last round. It's nothing like what you'd expect them to have right now. With Thomas on an AK, no armor, Crucial, Mighty Max, they've got those rifles to work with as well. But Surreal demoted down to that Desert Eagle, Robin only on a Mac 10. It's certainly nothing to brag about. And they're about to walk into a stack on A.
Okay, the initial man flashed forward towards Banana, shuts down the first man, goes for the spray transfer, crucial to trade, innocent to cement, and now the man advantage. Anonymo, they look to really further this, or maybe even take the lead. Melania over towards B, deleted by Mighty Max, but may not matter at this point. Kyler, low HP, he too is going to have to try and take this duel with a deagle of Surreal. He's able to get up onto this cubby hole in the time being, though. Bomb picked up means that Stack has to re-aggress it all. A beautiful shot through the smoke to shut down Crucial. However, it does give an opening now. Mighty Max, he's on a bit of a flank. He might be able to shut down some of these members with Innocent. He spots the player going down towards under. So he shifts forward towards mid. Now we're going to have to see what Mighty Max can do. Good for Kyler. Turns around, looks to catch out Stack. Still can't quite do so, though. And with the position of Mighty Max known, further utilities expended towards mid. Innocent takes his hand at aggression. Shifts forward. Mighty Max to full. All on Surreal. 1 versus 2. I think he may have been spotted here over towards this run-up. And that he is. Innocent finishes the job for Anonymous. That's 4. And for Endpoint, that's going to be a bad buy ahead. Now, I don't know about you, Josh, but this is deafening.
Yeah.
Okay, because VLC Media, it's what we used to get a clean feed from the Russian broadcast, and they're able to control the volume. So I think they control. I don't know how that kind of sounds on the output, but for me that was frankly an uncomfortable experience.
Yeah, it's not too bad for me. I actually don't think we're supposed to talk during those adverts, Crummer. I think we're supposed to just let them roll because that's why they just blast them really loud. You can barely hear us over them.
Okay. Oh god. I'm not used to having this much freedom.
Yeah.
He shuts down Robin early on. Only a couple of pistols for Endpoint, to be honest. So, best case scenario for them. 2 or 3 kills. Maybe even save the weapons that they take down. But Anio rings out some shots through the smoke. It might be a matter of time for Anonymo. They just sit back and they wait. And forces Endpoint into a position where they've got to, well, for Endpoint at least, where they've got to try and go through a smoke to hit this site.
Well, Endpoint now only down to the pistols. They've had a fair few chances at a decent buy now to try and bounce it back, and they've not been able to seize it. That is an absolute shutdown there from Minio. Up against those unarmored opponents, he just tore right through. Really, really solid defense. And as we see, Innocent with his 3 entry kills there. Sometimes these statistics, sometimes there's something good. Sometimes it's like, oh, wow, yeah, like that's a really great stat. And sometimes it's how many entry kills CT players had, and it's nothing particularly significant, and you just kind of shrug your shoulders and go, all right, then.
It's quite interesting that the CT players have more entries than the C-side players.
Well, yeah, I suppose, but what that kind of shows is that the T-side players are just failing on their entries. So
that's true.
Someone's going for their entries, and Innocent shuts them down every time, kind of thing. Keep able to do it this round.
Also, would you rather see a failed entry statistic rather than a CT entry statistic?
It's the same thing, isn't it? Just
mean,
different wording.
Yeah, does the wording change?
Oh.
Uh-oh. I thought that was me for a second. No, it's our clean feed. Oh, God. I think it's safe to assume that... Oh, it's our Russian broadcasters. I told you, it's the guy in the ads. I told you it wasn't actors.
Oh, it is.
Oh, I knew it wasn't actors. Oh, hopefully you can... I don't think Surreal won that anyway, but yeah. I guess we do we go to ad? I assume they're gonna throw us to an ad at some point. Oh no, okay, well back to our pregame. Okay, so Anonymous looking pretty strong. I assume they're 6-3 up, having seen Surreal. Oh no, we're going to... Okay, folks, we're gonna go to a little break. We'll be back in a bit.
every day told me a promise that I would make it one day as an artist. Music's the only thing keeping me honest. I know that I want it, I'm hoping I got it. Addicted to all this remotely melodic. See how some people become alcoholics. Addiction is real, but mine isn't as toxic. Although sometimes I feel a little psychotic. I know that I got it in me. Can't stop what's in me to the top. Believe me, I'm not resisting. It's all beginning. I'm all but willing to break the ceiling. Oh, take a chance and do it. Take a stance and prove it to yourself. Improving every day you're moving. Every day's a new one. Don't fear to lose one. Bounce back and move on. The things we keep inside, I know I'll be alright. I'll fight with will and time. I won't lose my... Some days are my worst days, but every day is a work day. I fell in love with the wordplay. If it's a dream, then you're never really working. And other tides are turning, and as I keep on learning, I only do what's worth it. Don't waste my time cause I earned it. Never got rid of the thirst, so much it hurts. Listen to my words, everyone's the worst. That's why I'm immersed in my own universe. And I know it's a curse, probably put me in a hearse, but I still write a verse. Maybe time will reverse if I put in the work while everything hurts. Take a chance, make a plan, you can do it, yes you can. Take a stand in your land and command of your brand. The things we keep inside, I know I'll be alright. I'll fight with will and time. I won't lose my mind. I'm losing my mind. Everything will be fine. Know that I'll be alright. That I'll be alright. I'm losing my mind. Everything will be fine. Know that I'll be alright. That I'll be alright. I'm losing my mind. Everything will be fine. Know that I'll be alright. That I'll be alright. I'm losing my mind. Everything will be fine. Know that I'll be alright. That I'll be alright. She's got me upside down again, just like a roller coaster. Never want it over now and again. You got me feeling closer. Time is moving slower now again. I don't wanna get older unless you're by my shoulder now and again. Just like a roller coaster, my stomach's turning over, yeah. She got me good, yeah, she got me bad. Yeah, she got me feeling it now, a feeling I've never had. I'm falling hard, yeah, this ain't a fad. Yeah, she got me feeling a way, it's even better than that. To play around only for a minute. She be flirting back and now I'm feeling so addicted. I could go another round, never reach my limit. Think she got me falling now, yeah. She's got me upside down again, just like a roller coaster. Never want it over now and again. You got me feeling closer. Time is moving slower now again. I don't wanna get older unless you're by my shoulder now and again. Just like a roller coaster, my stomach's turning over, yeah. I sit and pray, yeah, every day, yeah, that when she's looking at me, her feelings are just the same. She lights me up, yeah, just like a flame, yeah. I wanna live for today and sweep her so far away. I'm feeling all types of way, all times a day. I'm fine, but hey, she's mine, okay, let's find a place, all kinds of space, let's hide away. No time to waste, yeah, like a merry-go-round. I'm feeling off the ground. She's got me upside down again, just like a roller coaster. Never want it over now and again. You got me feeling closer. Time is moving slower now again. I don't wanna get older unless you're by my shoulder now and again.
Tell you what, it looks like we're back underway. So, hello. Welcome. Sorry, I accidentally muted myself there. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. It's Anonymmo take on Endpoint. We're back underway. We've only missed a couple of rounds, but to get it started, we've got a 6-5 lead, which means that Anonymmo, they won that clutch against Surreal. The follow-up is that Endpoint won the 2 rounds afterwards, putting us in this position, and it looks like Anonymmo going to try and double down. However, Robin 2 quick kills on his own, puts us straight into a 3 versus 3, and, well, let's see who's able to come out on top, because this 3-on-3, aggression from Banana, punished by Thomas, and as K's taken down, this leaves both Maya and Mineo with a single USP. Snacks, the only power weapon to hold this beast's sight. For the time being, let's see who's able to come out on top, with Snacks shifting his way forward. Scoped in, ready to catch out the initial member. As he does so, there's the first man spotted out, there's the first kill. Thomas to fall, into the 2-on-2. And as Crucial looks to cover up for lost ground and push his way forward over towards first oranges, does he take a bit of damage? Oh, it's the dink, but nothing more than that. As Mino shuts him down, all on Snacks. 1 versus 2, brings that shot, tries to cancel the plant, can't quite do so. As he sits back to hide, this leaves him in quite a tough position.
Well, this is Endpoint's ticket right back in. And the Snacks can do something huge here. Up in hand, and as he peeks around the corner, Robin's able to eliminate him. 6-6 goes the scoreline. And this is a nice little recovery from Endpoint. I said that it was going to be a win for them, but it was going to be a close, hard-fought one. And so far, it's really shaping up that way, isn't it? We're seeing back and forth rounds. This time, Anonymous, they will have enough money to go for a full investment, but they're lacking that AWP. They're lacking on some of that offensive utility. We only see 2 incendiary grenades. That's not out of choice. That's out of necessity. They don't have enough money for anything more. Only 1 kit in play as well. If they lose this round, they're back down to no money.
Some nades go down. Early bit of util expended, and for Anonymous, it looks like they were considering control towards Banana, but that molly has just left them reevaluating that option. Mineo trying to do a bit of damage through the wood there, maybe even get like the stray dink, and maybe even a cheeky dink at that. Unable to do so though means that it's late Banana control established anyway. For Endpoint, they're just going to go for the retake. Okay, ready in at me. Flash shuts down the first and the second at that. Beautiful little 1-2. And with that repertoire, that leaves Endpoint at a 2-man disadvantage. We're going to have to make that up for, but undoubtedly possible with Snacks spotting out. The players rotating away though. Good for 1, traded out by Robin. And well, for Anonymous, of course they can take these early engagements. Of course they can trade efficiently because, well, they're already 2 men ahead anyway.
Well, this has not gone very well for Endpoint at all. They've got off to a bit of a rocky start here. In a round that I really saw them winning. I thought this was going to be their chance to try and cement themselves a lead once again. It seems like it's going to be quite the opposite, though. They do have money behind them, so we'll certainly see a reinvestment off of this, but it's going to be a complete shutdown there from Innocent. The pincer, not really expected, and they do go 7-6, so a solid half here for Anonymmo. Whatever happens from this point forward, it'll be 8-7 regardless. Endpoint want to try and make sure that it's 8-7 their way, though.
Tell you what, Josh.
Would you see an AWP come out? Finally, from Snacks.
That's true. I'll tell you what, Josh. Endpoint, if they lose Inferno, do they end up winning I think Vertigo's next map as well? If Anonymous win this map, is it 2-0?
Maybe. Given the fact that this is Endpoint's map pick, yeah, you could be right with that. Anonymous are really good at Vertigo. That's the only thing there. They've played it 8 times. They've won it 7 of those times. They've been rather convincing wins. They've been against some good teams as well. Not Endpoint level, but definitely some good teams. The only loss they took as well was against Sinners, who are like notoriously really good at Vertigo. So yeah, no, I think Anonymous definitely could take this in 2 bites if we see them take this first map. What I don't really understand here about Endpoint's buy, though, just focusing on this round, is Robin's got enough money to have dropped an AK to Surreal, and he hasn't. And Crucial's got enough money to have dropped an AK to Surreal. But Surreal's just been left with a Desert Eagle. I just don't get it. Crucial maybe makes a little bit of sense so that he can have money for an AWP in the next if he wants it. Robin makes no sense right now as to why he hasn't dropped. And that Desert Eagle, it just doesn't seem to be able to do enough. On the entry, he gets eliminated. The trades are there, but it seemed like Surreal was just bait there.
At least it worked. If it didn't, that would have been pretty bad, to say the least. However, as we see what looks like a retake about to be attempted by Anonymo, we see Crucial over towards Boiler, shifting forward, open hands. And there's no way that K re-aggresses here. So there's no way he re-clears Boiler. And this should be where he's shut down unless he really kind of hurries up at this take. He knows there's one towards Pit. He doesn't know where the other two are. And as he does pray for a timing, unfortunately, he won't be graced with one. That bomb's going to go off. Anonymo, they're forced to save. And with that endpoint, they're going to tie things up 7-7.
Well, that's that tied up scoreline that we've seen quite consistently throughout this game so far. It's been going back and forth to different people. This is a solid double kill here from Innocent, though. I'm very surprised they lose the round after finding those entries. I thought that should really cement it, but it just didn't. 7-7. We see a buy come out here from Anonymo. It's pretty much a full buy. The only contingency there is Kyler's UMP, not a weapon you want to be seeing in the 15th round of the half. However, everything else looking pretty strong and potential for either one of these sides to try and take this 8-7 in their favor, of course. Endpoint on the other side of things, plenty for them to work with. Crucial with another AWP, the rest on those rifles. And Crucial, he didn't even need that extra money. Still got that $4,000 behind him.
As they push their way forward, Surreal, again looking to find this initial entry, but K over towards Wood. Flash, oh, it's scary for a moment, but he shuts down Mighty Max anyway. Mad advantage for Anonymo. Innocent close towards Apps. Timing just curses him there as Surreal looks to hard clear it, make his way forward towards Balcony, and kind of open up the site from there. For Endpoint, this is still just this brief lull in which they kind of fan out around the map and wait to see where the attack will come from. For Robin, he too will position himself and get ready for this initial take. And well, as the execution goes down, bomb still all the way towards T-spawn, so it might be a bit of a fake from Endpoint here. In Anonymo, they haven't really taken the bait.
They haven't, no. This has been good from Anonymo once again. At Endpoint, they're running themselves down on this clock. Playing a dangerous game right now. So there's 3 of them in Banana. There's 30 seconds on this clock. They need to find these opening jewels. And as they win the first, that's Thomas gone. Keen out on the site. Only man to defend. We see a lot of utility going down in CT. I think that was actually double smoked. That's a waste of one. And as the fire comes in, it's going to do so much damage. Finishes off Key, but CeX is here to deny this plant. 10 seconds on the clock. They need to tap in these digits. And as soon as they do so, you know that CeX is going to spam it and deny. Kyler coming in from Banana, and it's a complete crush from all angles. And that's what happens when you time yourselves out. You have no choice but to get on that plant in those crucial moments where you want to be taking gunfights and you just can't win them.
We get a quick little disbursement of that take, and it does leave those over in Anonymo at quite a tough spot where, yes, that half they won it, but the reality is they should have been much further ahead. And for Endpoint, they're going to be happy that they were able to scrape those 3 rounds to stop that Anonymo momentum, simply because that half almost looked awful for them. The fact they're able to keep it close means they get to move to their favoured side of their CT side and hope that they can use this as an opportunity to really shut down Anonymo and take their first map.
Well, we'll see how this second half goes and how this second half pistol goes as well. I think that's going to be one that really dictates the pace a little bit. As we see Anonymo move over to this T side. Endpoint, I don't think they massively favour either one of their halves here. We're going to have a little dive into that just before I cement that statistic. But yeah, here on Inferno, almost dead even. They ever so slightly favour their T side, but 53 to 55%, nothing really in it. A lot of utility here, though, for their CT side, and 2 players on Julies. This is a really bizarre buy.
Absolutely is. I know you love these jewelry buys, so this is definitely a buy for you, Josh. Only 2 members with armor. There's going to be 3 flashes, a smoke and nades to assist them and wherever they dare go. And, well, for Bineo, he'll spot a few members over towards the top of B. This will trigger this attack towards A, and with 2 players in apps, crucial now, it's his turn to go huge. He's a cowboy willing to take this draw, and, well, as the Anonymo hard clear archway, they know full well that the only attack can be from either pit or palace, or from balcony even. And crucial, he misses every bullet he fires. Literally every bullet he fires. He does tag up stacks a little bit. He shows presence, but I doubt that's going to do much here. As we find ourselves in a 5-on-5 retake. Mighty Max does have a kit, which definitely helps here, but the reality is this is still a really uncomfortable position. Snacks, his location known, but they're unable to kill him. With Thomas falling, now we see a flank coming through. Snacks eventually falls, but with players in pit as well in the form of Innocent, K there sent aside as well to assist. It's an absolute slaughter, and with a flank shutting down crucial, that'll be a pistol round for Anonymo and a 9th on the board.
You can use those jewelries if you're trying to go close range, if you're trying to get aggressive in banana, maybe you're playing in the corner in short or somewhere like that. Those jewelries, definitely justified. It makes a lot of sense to pull them out. When you're trying to play retake A, when you're trying to get those kills from the apartments, those jewelries, they don't become as viable. I really think that Crucial was hoping that there'd be some kind of presence in apps and that he'd be able to take those close range jewels from a distance. Those jewelries are just rubbish. They just don't do anything. They don't do any damage when you're from afar. An endpoint now onto the Desert Eagles to try and deny Anonymo from getting onto double digits. We saw those betting odds pop up just a few moments ago, and they actually cemented Anonymo as your favorites here in this first map. Remember, if you want to place a bet on this game, then LOOT.BET is the place to do so. You've got great odds on all of these matches, and of course they'll be covering all of the LOOT.BET games because it's the LOOT.BET Season 9 Cup.
I'd be surprised if they weren't, to be honest.
This is the 9th one. It's the 9th one. Do you know how many that is? That's 9.
How many loot bets have you done?
I've been doing them since Season 6. So this is my, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is my 4th.
Your fourth loot bet. This is my first one. This is my debut with LOOT.BET, and I do love the adverts. They are incredible. For Kyler, so he pushes his way forward. Quick little kill there, traded out by Thomas, but K, as he continues this back and forth, Surreal and Kyler further, but leaves it all on Mighty Max. 1 versus 2, spots out the first member. Kyler, reloading that AK, gets through the smoke, but he takes a lot of damage from Mighty Max there. This is very doable for Max. AK in hand, he'll shift his way forward. Kyler goes to that plant, deploys that old flash. He looks to time a swing off the back of it, plots out that initial head, shuts down Mighty Max. A beautiful shot for him there, as Anonymo make it 10, and endpoint and their force buy make it damn expensive for Anonymo, but they just can't tutor it over the edge.
Very well played from Kyler there as well. You see him, really the glue that keeps this round together after Key finds those openers. Kyler gets a triple kill to close it out. That was a very messy round from Anonymo, and one that could have slipped away. Endpoint, they were only on a Deagle Force, remember. It wasn't a round that they should have been winning. They were very, very nearly able to take it. Now, just with these pistols on a full eco, we do see a couple of HEs, we see a flashbang, we see a couple of pistols, but still above $2,000 on every single one of these players so that they can go for a buy in the next. And crucial, making sure he's got that extra cash as well to go for that AWP. So we will see a very, very strong buy from Endpoint going into the 19th. But that means Anonymo, they'll be able to put themselves onto 11 before they're too challenged here. And they even go for a bit of a funky bonus with this. Even though they lost 4 members last round, instead of buying into these rifles, they go straight into the Mac 10s and they look to build up some money with them.
He's also going to play bonus next round as well, with Thomas falling. Crucial and Surreal, what on earth can they have to do here, Josh? Maybe get the odd kill, maybe they even just save to prevent the Mac 10s from farming even more money. And as the plant goes down, Anonymo, they're going to commence this hunt pretty quickly as Endpoint, they're going to go 11-7 down. From there, what on earth can I hope to do, Josh? Because Anonymo right now, they've got all the momentum in the world to assist them.
They absolutely do, yep. This is looking rather scary for Endpoint. They need to turn this around now, or I think they're in some trouble at the end of the day. Crucial, he has managed to find himself 1 kill here, given that this is an eco. It's not terrible, But yeah, you're right. There was a hell of a lot of momentum here from Anonymo. They were able to take the final round of the half. They then took the pistol. They've then taken 3 follow-ups. Endpoint's next buy round needs to pack a punch. Otherwise, they are seriously going to be in some trouble.
You're absolutely right. And as they move into this buy round, let's see who's able to come out on top. Oh, we got another bonus code. Was that Portus? Or Porto? Porto?
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go, Porto.
Yeah.
Another bonus code. So go to LOOT.BET, check out that bonus code. I believe that was 100% bonus deposit if you deposit up to €20. So that's pretty cool. For Endpoint, they continue to make their way forward. They continue to try and catch out these initial members. As they do so, this leaves Thomas to take a bit of early damage. However, he'll still survive nonetheless. For Anonymo, as they get ready for this attack, Endpoint find themselves in a position where they're almost in lieu of which site to commit to this defense at least.
Oh, this is a really, really important round for them. So no time for mistakes right now. I think if they lose this round, it's probably game over. It's not definitely game over, but it becomes really, really difficult to come back from. Yeah, especially on that CT side where they haven't got any money. They have got the loss bonus behind them now, but Anonymo, they'll be on to 13 before Endpoint will be able to pull out their next buy. So this one, really, really crucial for them to take. And as that molly goes down, they go for the heavy rotations towards this B site. I was going to call it an over-rotation, but it's right. They know exactly where Anonymo are right now, and they should be able to shut this down.
Yeah, there's an absolute slaughter. All down to winners at last man left standing. Mighty Max finishes the job. And for Anonymo, a bit slow on that take there, Josh. I won't lie. It is punished pretty well by Endpoint, and means that they're able to get a bit of an economy rocking as well. With 3 members left standing, a reinvestment's going to be easy, and more importantly, every single member isn't going to have to kind of skip down to a fan mass. My only worry for Endpoint is they're not out of the economic dark zone just yet. They lose a round, they're straight back onto a reset, and Anonymo, they are just going to force up. They know full well about this, and we see that AWP come out on CeX. Granted, Neo does only have a deagle, but at this stage, it should be pretty easy to just pick up your teammates' AK, especially if they go for some kind of ballsy entry.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're right to say Anonymo, they were a little bit slow last round. Oh, Snacks, that's unfortunate. You can't connect that one. But sometimes when it comes to Endpoint, we've seen them in these rounds go for some aggressive plays, go for these kind of hybrid defenses. Sometimes you've just got to use that utility to run down the clock and play the crossfires on the site. That's what they did last round, and it worked perfectly for them. Just that little bit of discipline that's required, and this time we're seeing something similar. We see the nades go down a minute on this clock. They've got this triple man defense on the A site. They've got these crossfires to play with. And crucial at Mighty Max hit 2 kills in unison. Mighty Max doubles down. And once again, a cemented round that Anonymo, they just can't find anything in.
Really, really clean round by Endpoint there. Really solid defense of Anonymo. They struggled there a fair bit. They're straight down to an eco. And this is where their economy really hits quite a dark place, because Endpoint, they've hit them in the cycle of resets, and at this point Endpoint are really going to pull themselves forward now. Well, 2 rounds separate the two of them, one of which has to be an eco. It's pretty much neck and neck at this stage.
Interestingly as well, Endpoint had a chance at picking up a secondary AWP there, and they opted against it. I mean, there's a reason. Like, they just don't want that double AWP setup. But here on the CT side of Inferno, you do often see teams pick up that secondary AWP. It's definitely a viable weapon to have on a map like this. This is just going to be a really, really clean round, though. Minio didn't even have a gun for a few seconds there. It's just the Glocks. They're unarmored. And we're just going to see Endpoint mow through them. So, yeah, 11-10. This scoreline, it really does close. And that must-win round that we talked about from Endpoint, from them converting it, they're right back in the game.
Absolutely are. Really, really positive outlook for Endpoint right now, because they hit that kind of peak round where if they lose, they're out. If they win, they're in, and, well, they won it. And now they're going to look to try and spiral out of control off the back of this now, with what will be quite a definitive buy from either side. And looking at the economy of Anonymo, for Endpoint, this win would dictate whether or not they're able to pull themselves back into this game, more importantly, pull themselves into the lead.
Well, this is their time. Let's get back into the driver's seat here. You talked about that momentum that Anonymo had before. That momentum now reversed, and crucial, fully blinded, hitting that shot onto Key. That's massive. Minio creeping up, takes another duel. That's Thomas out of the equation. Minio down to 5 points of health. As Mighty Max jiggling on this angle, he'll deploy the firebomb. It'll fall right away. And Innocent, he just can't capitalize on that timing. A 4 versus 4, but an effective 4-on-3 here as Minio's so low on health. And Endpoint, this is a decent start from them. The only issue is that all of their utility has been expended early. So they actually just don't really have anything left right now. Mighty Max, a smoke, a flash, and a HE. 2 flashes on Crucial and Surreal, but not a whole lot left to work with. And with a minute on this clock to tick, and only a lone man defending towards B, this is actually Anonymous round for the taking. I think they can do this if they commit to this site.
As we see some absolute heroics come out from Crucial, and looking at his positioning, he's going to go for them. Scopes in, ready for the initial member to swing, and as he spots the shoulder, he knows what's coming. He hasn't gone for the rotation, though, surprisingly. There's the swing, there's the push, and just like that, we're going to see Endpoint thrust into a 4-on-4 retake, which Anonymous are going to be more than happy to kind of place themselves in. More smokes go down towards CT. That's the end of the Anonymous utility. Plant goes down, and now it all comes down to Angels on the Anonymous behalf. Over towards Endpoint, though, they do still have a smoke and a flash, which may even assist with a potential quick little just ninja defuse if possible. But with a double setup over towards Coffins, right now, anyone who swings into this is going to be in for a hell of a lot of trouble. There's the initial member. Robin, good for 1. Traded out by Snacks, who hits the 2-fer. Looks to make it 3. Can't quite do so, though. Max in a 1 versus 2. Out of time and out of luck. And it's Minio to finish the job. Anonymous to hit 12, and Endpoint to hit a reinvestment.
Well, that's a shame. That's a shame for Endpoint. I'm not particularly happy with how Crucial doesn't call for a rotate there as that smoke goes down. I mean, it's just a read, yeah? They've just looked at those smokes going down over towards that. I think there was 1 CT smoke. I'm not sure if there was a coffin smoke or not in that initial execute. But they see that smoke and they say, do you know what? This is probably a fake towards B. With 30 seconds left, maybe they'll run back up to the A site. So we're going to hold this 3-man defense that we've got. But then as soon as the peak comes through, Crucial misses that key shot. And that's it. It's round over. No opportunity to get back into that site. Anonymous are always going to be heavily favored in that scenario. And Endpoint, they can't seize the opportunity to pull back into the lead. Do see some damage dealt from that HE. Robin spamming away there at Snacks. We'll take him out too. Man advantage now for this CT side. And the 2-2 setup, exactly what you want right now with the man advantage.
Tell you what, Josh, that was really brave by Robin there to A, stay behind that box, and B, to actually just swing and take a gunfight. Usually if you're there, it's just a matter of waiting for your death, and well, he doesn't. He stays firm and he locks his horns, and well, he comes out on top despite being on low HP. For Anonymous now, they've got to make up for this, and well, it looks like we'll see some smokes over towards this position of B. Robin flash forward, Innocent to trade, and now in a 3-on-3, that should spur the Anonymous attack. Mighty Max is going to have to sit over towards Fountain. They'll deploy the odd smoke just to try and deter a push from Anonymous, but it looks like the Polish side are going to bomb straight through it. Over to Mighty Max on New Box. He is the sole defender. Sure, he does have Crucial over towards CT, but Crucial, he's still hesitant about this rotation. Mighty Max on New Box, good for 1. Hides in the corner. He knows they're going to try and pressure him down, and he swings wide. Kyler there to shut him down. Crucial to trade. All on Innocent. 1 versus 2. Rings out a few shots back and forth. Crucial continuing to try to pepper his position. And for Innocent, he's caught out behind the box. Finished off by Crucial. And for Endpoint, that's 11 as they keep it neck and neck with Anonymous, snapping at their heels with every single step this Polish side takes. However, that's in just a moment. What we're going to say was, however, Anonymous with now a force spy. This is where Endpoint try and take the lead. Again, flashes go out towards mid, keeps Crucial back. He doesn't know the extent of this force spy, but Anonymous, they are bombing it towards mid now. Here comes that fast attack. Crucial good for 1 as the flash is just a little bit too late, but it does not matter. This won't stop them from just barreling up from long. Flashes ring out, nades ring out as well. Crucial sitting backside, good for another. Looks to make it 3, can't quite do so. The trades are perfect into a 3-on-3. And as the plant goes down, Kyler, AWP in hand, is going to be ready to defend this site. The double up in pit position is really quite deadly, and Endpoint have been thrown into a really uncomfortable position. They've got no money either. If Anonymo win this, which is looking really likely, then they're going to really count as a double here.
Absolutely, yeah. As long as they don't topple to this force buy, which would be a bit of a disaster, then they won't have to be challenged by the investment going into the next. It should be a free opportunity at taking the lead, but the AWP that's been picked up by Kyler, it's good for so much damage, and Thomas now in a 1-on-2, but there's no time. 5 seconds left on this clock. Even if he gets both the kills here, there's not time to tap in those digits on the defuse, and as Kyler triples down, Anonymo, they take the 13th, the round that they had very little equity in. They somehow pull out the bag. Look at this, Kyler, just with a bit of a read there. If the player's on moto and he's not peeked out, it means he's still in the apex of that smoke and he can just shoot right through it. Beautiful stuff. Look at this. Endpoint, they don't have money. This is a force buy right now. If they lose it, then Anonymo will be on to 14. Endpoint will be on an eco in the next. They're essentially gifting Anonymo map point here unless they can win a crazy pistol round. They've been fully reset and they're backed on to what would have been a double eco had they not have bought here.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Endpoint are going for this buy. However, the pros are aware not, and as they fan out around the map, they do have a couple of grenades on hand just to ease them forward and to help out, but Anonymo being so passive, once again, they do not want to take an engagement, they do not have to, and they demonstrate this by all moving to mid as one. They see that initial smoke go down. On the close angle, though, they are going to have to duel this double swinging duo of Endpoint. However, with no fruit sport, it's going to be down to the re-aggression in which Crucial falls. Now, man advantage for Anonymo as they look to just stack back towards B. Just as we see everyone rotate away, looks like we'll see a bit of a change of mind from Thomas. He'll make his way back towards this site. And with a UMB, he might be able to do the odd bit of damage. Robin through the smoke. He too falls. Nades continues to land over towards B. Well, Thomas now, UMP in hand. Good for 1, 2. Can't quite make it 3, but for a second, that was really strong there. Into this 3-on-2. And for Anonymo, they will trade kills for around any day of the week. Mighty Max going through this smoke. He spots out every single member. Quickly killed for his woes. And for Surreal, this should be a quick little dispatchment, providing Anonymo with 14. Of course, Endpoint, really strong stuff from them, or unfortunately, it's not quite enough to beat Anonymo, who have been able to just find their rhythm really quite convincingly, and as Josh mentioned last round, with this force buy from Endpoint, they were forgoing match point if they lost this round. That they have. Now we see Innocent with a Max 10 who's going to look to farm house on these USPs here, forcing Endpoint into a really tough position. So they push their way forward. Sue's able to go out on top because the reality is they're in such a difficult spot.
I'm a bot, Kremer. I have my mic muted.
Oh, that's all right. It happens to the best of us.
But yeah, I was just saying, I really hope that Endpoint don't go for some kind of force buy here, but by not going for a force buy, they sign themselves up to Anonymo getting onto map point on their own map pick, and well, then they'll need 4 rounds in a row, 4 flawless rounds in a row to pull this one back. No opportunity at all either, so it is just going to be rifles in the next. It's going to be really difficult. I actually think Endpoint lose this map. And if they lose this map, I'm not filled with confidence for Vertigo either. This has been a fairly weak showing from them. However, I think if there's any time for you to come into a series and have a bit of a slow start and not put up your best performance, it's definitely at 8:30 in the morning. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
Anonymo right now, they're in Poland. I mean, Poland's what, BST +2? So for
yes.
Yeah, so for them it's like 10:30. Like, it's not terrible. For Endpoint, they've just got up. For them to have actually got up and been able to warm up and things. Who, Poland?
Yeah, it's BST +1.
Okay, so a similar boat, I suppose. But for Endpoint, this game started at 8:30. So for them to actually get up, get in the server, get warmed up, they're coming on for 7, 7:30, presumably to get up and have a shower and eat breakfast and stuff. They've got up at like a ridiculous time this morning just to play this match, and there's no way that you're fully awake and fully focused at this time. I couldn't play Counter-Strike right now. I couldn't think of anything worse than playing Counter-Strike right now. I will a little bit later, but 8:30 in the morning? No.
I actually watched your games yesterday, Josh, so let's not... I would argue you don't know how to play CS ever, but... we see Surreal over towards balcony. He's good for one. Game straight onto him. Kyler out of apps will secure the site. Sure, Crucial's presence towards long, but unfortunately, it's not something you can really hold. And a stack shifts forward, all in hand. Quick little kill onto Crucial there, into Robin and Thomas. 2-on-3, and just like that, I think we're going to see a quick little end to Inferno. Stack scoped in. He's ready for these players to peek into them. Mind you, he might even consider going through the smoke as well. He might even glaive it, hugging one angle of it, hoping to just catch out an initial member. He hasn't quite heard the boost, but I think he'll hear it the second Thomas starts shooting. And Thomas legs down anyway. They back away, and for Minio, spots out the first member, makes it 2. Anonymo, they take him out 1-16 to an 11. A really, really strong performance from them. For Endpoint, that is one they will not be happy with, especially as they have to move on to Anonymo's best and favourite map of Vertigo.
Absolutely, yeah. Most notably, that was Endpoint's map pick. And Anonymo, they were the big old underdogs in that one. We're going to be going to a short break, folks. And when we return, we'll see whether Anonymo can take it in 2 bites or whether Endpoint can bounce it back and bring us to a third. Don't go too far. We'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes.
Feel free to talk.
Boss, we've done all as you said.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, boss. Everything like you asked. It's in my car, boss.
I'm surprised. You're actually good for something. So, where is it, Brady?
Here, in the trunk.
What the fuck is that? You fat Irish prick. You're supposed to bring me a coat, not a skinny anima kid. Where is LOOT.BET code I asked it for?
Well, he wasn't talking.
Are you out your mind, Brady? Because I swear I put your brain to sleep. He ain't talking because his fucking mouth is closed.
So, maybe I should open it.
Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. God is loot, loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, code is loot.
Oh my god, idiot. Fuck. I surrendered by idiots.
Hey, kid. Sorry about that.